Hey guys, today we're going to be recreating this hero section for the UJET website. It's got a neat little interaction. When the page loads, the scooter comes in from right to left. I thought it was really cool. The website was built by Joseph Berry, so go check him out. He does great work. All credit goes to him. But I'm just going to show you how to do this interaction just because I thought it was really cool. So let's get into it. I built the assets beforehand. So I'll show you how I built them, but I didn't think it was a good use of time to actually build them in front of you. So let's start out with adding a Lottie Animation. The Lottie Animation is going to be that little, see this circle interaction back here? That's what the Lottie Animation is. And we are going to make it 100 viewport height. Okay, so as the page loads, you can see like this circle here kind of goes around. I can show you in After Effects. There are three assets. One of them is a circle, and the other two are just lines. And then I added a trim path so that when the page loads, the circle, you can see the circle here goes around. Very simple. And that is our first asset. So 1 out of 3 is done. The second thing we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the scooter. So the scooter is going to be wrapped in a wrapper. So we're going to add a div. This is going to be our scooter wrapper. Okay. Inside of the scooter wrapper are going to be 3 assets. We're going to add the scooter itself without wheels. We are going to add wheel number 1 and wheel number 2. The reason why we have 3 different assets is because you can see when the page loads here, the wheels are spinning. And so wheel 1 has to spin, wheel 2 has to spin, and the scooter itself just has to go from position right to left. And I'll show you how to do that later. But for now, let's just add our assets. So we're going to add asset number 1, which is going to be our scooter. We're going to make it, let's say, let's actually make this 90 viewport height. Okay. And then for our scooter, I'm just going to rename it here. For our scooter, we're going to make this 90 viewport height. And then we're going to add a background. Make it we'll choose our image here. We've got our scooter, and then we're going to make it go all the way to the right, and we're going to take off tile. So the reason why it's way down here is because we have a Lottie Animation 100 viewport height and then the scooter wrapper 100 viewport height. So to make them stack on top of each other, we'll make it position absolute and make it full. So there we go. We now have our scooter, and it's not big enough. So let's change it from auto and auto to 90 viewport height. There we go. Now we have a large scooter. It's time to add our wheels. So click our scooter wrapper, add an image. The image is going to be our wheel. We're going to make the wheel absolute, pin it to the top right. That is very important. And then we have to give it a height of something with a viewport height. The reason why it has to be viewport height and not pixel is because just for responsiveness, because we picked viewport height here and here for our heights, we have to make sure that our height here is also viewport height. And also for our position, we'll make it 40. Actually, that was about good. This positioning has to also be viewport height along with this positioning. Oh, that was actually very close. Okay. As we can see, the wheel is on top of the scooter, so we have to make sure that the scooter is relative and has a z-index of something higher than the wheel. There we go. We now have wheel number 1 down and good. Let's copy it and paste it. We'll make this the wheels class, and then we'll put this, we'll make a combo class of 2. Looks like 2's already been used. Let's make it 1. So we have wheels and then wheels 1. And then we can reposition the second wheel. Let's say 20, move it a little more. There we go. So I mentioned to you that this right here has to be viewport height. The reason is because as the screen gets smaller, we want to make sure that the position of the wheel moves relatively the same as the scooter does, because if we were to size this, if the screen size were to get smaller and this were a pixel positioning, the wheel wouldn't go as far as the scooter. If that might have made no sense, but trust me. Okay, and then before we add the text here, let's just go ahead and add the interaction. This is the big one. So how we're going to do it is we're going to add a page load trigger. Okay, we're going to start an interaction, start an animation, and then add a new animation. This is going to be our really cool scooter animation. Okay, so we have a wrapper here. If we move this wrapper, everything inside of the wrapper is going to move along with it. So we're going to add an action to the wrapper. It's going to be a move, and then we can move it left and right. So we want it to start off screen on the right side, because we'll just show you here real quick. It goes from off screen to the right all the way to about center screen, or a little bit right of center screen. So we're going to make it 100 viewport width to make it all the way off screen on the right side. And we're going to set this as our initial state, meaning when the page loads, it's automatically going to go to the right. It's not going to start in the center. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back to the center, but it can't be 0 pixels. It has to be 0 viewport width in order for Webflow to understand the position. So we now have it going from right to left, but there's a few things wrong with it. So first of all, we want it to delay 1 second. We don't want it to just immediately come over from right to left. We want it to delay. We also want to add a longer duration. We're going to add a duration of 2.5 so that it comes over a little bit slower. That's good. But we don't want it to stop immediately. We want it to ease in and ease out. So it's just going to ease in just like that, and that's actually a perfect duration, so we're going to keep it there. We're done. We're done with the movement. Now we have to add the rotation. As you can see, the wheels on this animation, they're moving. So we're going to click our wheel, and we're going to add a rotation. We have to set an initial state, so we'll add 0 degrees. We'll set that as our initial state. And actually, you know what? We don't have to do that. Let's add the wheel just right here. We don't have to add the initial state. We'll add the delay, and then we'll make this -360. So that means after a second, it's going to take 0.5 seconds to rotate -360 degrees, which is counterclockwise, which is the direction we want it to. Now, that was too quick. We want the duration to be exactly the same as the movement of our scooter wrapper so that they stop at the same time. And perfect. Now we have to add that ease, because you could see the wheel was spinning for a bit too long and it was abrupt ending. So we have the scooter ending at the perfect time. Okay, now let's click our second wheel, and we're going to add the exact same interaction. We're going to add rotation, -360, make it 2.5 seconds long with an ease, and boom. Perfect. And I believe that is it for the scooter. That looks really nice. And let's just add our finishing touch of the text. So the text, probably lots of ways you could do this. I'm going to do it the simplest way. We're going to add a heading. The heading is, actually, you know what, I take it back. Let's add a div block first. And bring it to the bottom, and we're going to make it absolute 100 viewport width, make it full. We're going to add some padding, 50 viewport width, so that it's all the way here on this right side of the screen, and then maybe a 15 viewport height, and that should be about good. We're going to also add a heading. I'm going to come back here and add a z-index of 10, so that's all the way on the top, so we can edit our text. And then, okay, so we advance e-mobility. So we advance, make the text really big, 86, and then we'll do 0.9 EM. And then, let's see here. Let's change the text, or the font. That should be good. Okay, so again, let's look at the interaction on the page load. They all kind of stack up one by one. Each one gets successively like 0.1 seconds slower. So when we scroll into view, we want to add a slide interaction going from bottom up, and the delay is going to be 1 second, 100 milliseconds, just like the bike. We're waiting a second for it to come in. Boom, perfect. Next, we're just going to copy and paste it, make it super simple. We advance e-mobility. Okay, great. Now we just have to have the e-mobility come in 0.1 second slower. So it's going to be 1,000 milliseconds and then 1,100 milliseconds. All right, now I'm going to copy and paste several times through design engineering. So through design, engineering, and material science. Through design, engineering, and material science. We don't need this bottom one. We advance e-mobility through design. I feel like I missed something. Okay. Each one of these, delay is going to be 0.1 seconds slower. So we're just going to go to 1200, 1300, 1400, and 1500. Okay. Make the font black and beautiful. That's the finished product. Yeah, I could go in and add the nav bar. I could go in and add this scroll button, or the social media icons. In all honesty, those are really simple to do. I really just wanted to show you how to do this main interaction. I never showed you how to make the assets for the e-scooter, or I never showed you what I did for them. So I'll just really quickly show you. I brought it into After Effects, and I essentially just masked out each of these things. So we have our scooter without the wheels. We have our wheel number 2, wheel number 1, and I actually just used the same asset for both wheels. But it was super simple to do. And then I uploaded them. I compressed them and then uploaded them to Webflow, and that was it. The text doesn't look as good because the bike is basically white in his picture, and my bike, I used a different asset. It's a lot more black, so I don't know. You could add in a white background and then make the text inline if you wanted to, but in all honesty, I think it looks fine. Yeah, that's the interaction. I hope you liked it. If you wanted to see anything else in his website, it's a beautiful website. Go check out his website, by the way. If you want to see anything else in it, let me know and I can do a tutorial in the future. Other than that, guys, have a fantastic day. I will see you soon.